Carnival Cruise Line, they had a brand new cruise ship coming, a larger cruise ship, so they needed to expand the facility. They needed a longer loading bridge.
The existing Terminal F embark structure had been completed back in 2017 to accommodate different needs. Since then, PortMiami needed a facility that could accommodate Carnival Cruise Line's LNG-powered Carnival Celebration, which is an XL Class 7,000 passenger vessel. They needed a facility to support their expected embark marks of 20,000 guests per week. There was a need to build a larger facility. The exterior was then conceptualized with some imaginative aesthetics to keep up with the amazing surrounding buildings at the port.
The terminal needed to open and be completed with a TCO before the arrival of the new cruise ship in October 2021. And the project initially was intended that it needed to remain operational throughout the whole process of construction, but due to COVID, there was a shutdown for a period of time, but not throughout the entire process. So the biggest challenge was basically building this new facility over an existing operational facility.
Also, the new facility needed to last longer and be maintenance efficient. The new Terminal F portion of the project also needed a clean and open interior design and a maximized use of technology to enhance the passenger embarkation presence. We are very limited on time. The 749 days included very limited time for pre-construction and planning, so we were kind of doing that as we were going. You know, early on in the project, we had to come up with creative solutions that would meet mark on the client's budget, you know, and with rising costs, we had to come up with some really interesting solutions, the retrofit being one. What was very innovative about the solution was that we were able to keep the existing structure and we were able to limit certain demolition and limit certain heavy construction that would have been appropriate had we not thought of the roof buildup. It was a really interesting, innovative concept using the SSR from BP Buildings. It's an industrial panel, and I've never used it in such an aesthetic-driven project that together with BP Buildings, we came up with some really good ideas to make it appear as the original renderings that Carnival was pursuing.
The new roof was kind of like a bridge between the two buildings. It was connecting. We wanted the facility to look like one building instead of three buildings at different stages.
Well, the existing building has an existing concrete roof, and then it had the roof material on top of it. So we had to cut out little holes for each post, you know, on the roof and come up with a really cool attachment to the existing concrete. And then we had to patch it back up because at the time, you know, we're putting up these posts and we're exposed to weather outside. And we have a bunch of holes in the existing roofing system. So we would have to patch it as we went. You know, we did the cascading wall idea, and that was something that was very difficult. We had some limited amount of roof penetrations, and it's because early on in pre-construction, we really tried to get all penetrations to come out through walls. We had a big mechanical well that's it's kind of an open area that has all the mechanical equipment, and we wanted everything kind of coming out into that well area as opposed to coming through the roof. We did have one hot stack that had to come through the roof, and we did a standard curb around it, and then we flashed the curb, and you know, it's perfectly weather tight.
It's not a standalone pre-engineered building. They're using components of a pre-engineered building to renovate an existing building. Port is very similar to an airport, where you want a building that is both highly functional but also aesthetically pleasing at the same time. And the pre-engineered portion of this building was a new roof that covered the existing terminals plus an addition. And I think it just stood out and said, wow, this is a cool building. It can be seen both from land and from sea.
It was an important part to do that retrofit since it connected everything and made it look like one.
They wanted us to use some of Carnival's brand colors, the blue and the red and the white, and all featured in the roof system. From miles and miles away, you'll see that the roof is a big blue roof, which is not standard in Miami. We were able to accomplish a very tall roof slope buildup. We built up the slope from 1 foot to close to 20 feet. They really wanted to make it so that when you're on the cruise ship, you know, embarking, you look down and you see this really cool roof. It wasn't just a roof to keep the building weather tight. It was also something aesthetically pleasing.